I can make them,
Okay.
or Jim can. No, I got it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Glad to have you. Are you free Saturday?
Baseball.
Okay. We tried to get help from Chicken.
Oh, we'll be there. We just don't know what time. We'll either be there in the morning or we'll be there in the evening.
Okay. Good deal.
Denise is free.
Do what? Oh. I've been praying the last few weeks what to do on Wednesday night. A couple of months ago, I visited one of the guys I look up to. His name's Dr. David Jeremiah. We saw him in a musical down where we. He had written a book called Beginning of the End. And so I've been thinking about that. I want to talk about it a little bit. I want to introduce that tonight. Okay? And I want to get your participation. This is a good night in the right crowd to be able to do this. I'm going to entitle it, Are We Beginning to See the End?
Amen.
So let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. And you're going to find it interesting in Matthew 4 or 24 and 3 that when Jesus begins to answer the question of the disciples, he's sitting on the Mount of Olives. You remember when Jesus ascended back to God the Father and the disciples were standing around where that was? On the Mount of Olives. And you remember where Jesus is going to come back to when he comes back?
Same place.
The Mount of Olives. So I think it's interesting that Jesus would answer this question thrown at him. In verse 3 it says, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when will these things be? What will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? And Jesus answered and said to them, take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places. And all of these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended. They'll betray one another, hate one another. Many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he that endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end shall come. When I first came 14 months ago, we talked about this a little bit. I drew out a kind of a graph on a big marker board. I wish I had that tonight, Andy, but I didn't want to ask me and you to go down there and get it. But, you know, I kind of gave you a visual picture of what things were going to look like. And in 14 months, a lot of things has happened.
Yes.
Amen.
It's amazing how fast they're happening now. It's almost like a snowball coming down the mountain. The further it goes, the bigger it gets, and the faster it rolls. So we begin to see all of these things happen around us. So the question is how many of you believe that we're beginning to see the end? How many of you honestly believe that? Okay. But you raise your hand?
Yes, I do.
Everybody but Patricia raised her hand.
I'm right.
Oh,
I think so.
okay.
I didn't raise mine,
You didn't raise yours? Okay.
because I don't know.
You don't know, okay.
will be wrong and the wrong will be, the right will be wrong and the wrong will be right.
Yeah, let me have your foot, Charlie. Oh, you got it? You got all this written on your foot? Okay.
We're seeing more of the Catholic churches have a lot more religion than they do. Catholic churches are very indoctrinated.
Yeah, I remember me telling you about my experience there. And I mean, it's crazy. And that's just one country. But where Catholicism is in South America, Mexico, Guatemala, I mean, you go through all those countries, what do we call that, Central America area? When you go there, the practice of witchcraft, voodooism, demonic worship is prevalent among Catholics. And it happens inside their facilities. And they just pass it off. And let me tell you something. Jesus said that there can be no fellowship between light and darkness. So that kind of tells me where those people are. They're a classic of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, my message Sunday, in verse 3. That the God of this world has blinded the minds of those that don't believe. They are totally blind to the truth of Jesus Christ. So, we're going to take these in order. We're going to be consistent. We're going to take these in order and kind of, I'll leave it right there for right now. But let's talk a little bit about why you believe. Signs, that's evidence. So, when you see a storm cloud gathering and you start hearing thunder and you see lightning, what's going to happen? Storm. If you see the clouds getting really kind of grayish and it's below 32 outside, and you know the moisture is going to fall, what are you expecting?
No.
If you go out in your garden and you see that your potato vines are turning yellow, what's it telling you?
Dig potatoes.
It's time to what?
Dig your tater up.
Yeah, time to dig taters. I'll see you. It's time to dig taters. But those are signs, right? There's clear signs. If you look in the mirror in the morning and you start seeing spots on your face that you didn't notice the day before, you know, you get concerned. You get concerned about skin cancers, right? You start wondering because some of the signs are those little bumps, like I've got a new one that just popped up this week right here. And you know, your initial thought, especially those of us that have gone through skin cancer, is that, there's another one popping up. You know, but there's certain signs that make it evident. And when the disciples asked this question to Jesus, he had already taught them a great deal. This is at the end that Matthew records this part. So they're still inquisitive. So don't feel bad, shame, because you're still wondering, you know, what's going on. He had spent 3.5 Right is wrong. Wrong is right. So where would you put that? In context. Let's stay in context. Verses 3 through 14. Where would you put that? Right is wrong, and now wrong is right. Well, thank you.
False prophets.
Miss Teacher, Miss Proficient. Which one? Verse, what verse?
11 has false prophets.
Okay. And now I'm going to do a reverse side, okay? And wrong is right. There was a teacher in the audience who learned what you said. You had one. Well, good thing. So let's look at that. Verse 11, many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. We live in a culture today in America where this has never been more true than it is right now. That what we always considered to be right, we're the minority, is wrong. And the majority says that wrong is now right. The problem is you and I sit here and we know that, but the devil has blinded the mind of the masses of America. Can you believe, I saw this today, it was shown to me, I don't know why the news, but there was a comedian, I think they said, and CNN, and she raised up a bloody head of resemblance of our president. I'm going to tell you something, folks. It's a sick nation that we live in when people are acting the way they're acting. And it is totally ungodly. Totally ungodly. And we live in a world that says that sin is okay, that alternative lifestyles is okay, that anything that we know by this book, and this is the only thing, we're not going to judge anything but what I believe or you believe. We're going to judge it by what this book says. Amen? Can we agree on that?
Amen.
We're going to judge it by this book. And if this book says that it's sin, guess what? It's wrong. It'll never be right. It will never, never be right. So that's verse 11. So we've added that one to it. Okay? And I had that marked here, so that's good. What other verses do you think that we're seeing fulfilled right now? 10? What's amazing, y'all going to the back and we're going 7. Hang on. Let's get them one at a time. And then many will be offended and betray one another and hate one another. I want to tell you something, that last one, there's no doubt we all get offended. But that last one, hating one another, we're a nation that hates one another right now. The way that we're acting and the way that the devil is divided. You know, are you okay? Yeah. One of the telltale signs to me, okay, this is for your benefit too, is when you look at prophecy and you talk about the end and what's going to happen, especially when you get into the tribulation period, you don't see us. The United States is not mentioned. And don't think it's because we all got records, because that ain't happening either. Okay? We're going to fall as a nation. And I'm telling you, we're falling right now. Wait a minute, Jeff, I was getting to the part you need. I'll keep going. But you understand what I'm saying? We're a nation. We hate one another. The things that we're doing toward each other. And bless his heart, whether he's right all the time or he's wrong some of the time, there is no way the President of this United States can operate, because if he sneezes wrong, it's going to be on ABC, NBC, CBS, and CNN that he sneezed out his left nostril and he's only allowed to sneeze out of his right. That's how bad it is. But that's what the enemy's doing. The enemy's using that to divide us. And there's a hatred that's going on that I haven't seen since Martin Luther King was when?
68.
Okay, 68. I saw it at home all the way up until at least the early 70s, you know, and the black and white issue, and there was a tremendous amount of hate in our area. When I went back to high school, it was integrated. And I want to tell you, it was nothing but hate with one another. And we're every bit of being back into that situation like this. So we're going to scratch off number 10. Jeff said what? 7? Oh, Jacob said 7. I'm sorry. You,
Take it
for the nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. We'll stop there for a minute. Isn't it interesting how they're pushing this Russia thing, and then we're pushing this North Korean thing, and now it's come down to is this crazy in go ahead, no, back up. I need to be right. So you don't have to. But you think about it. This guy, this crazy guy in North Korea, is trying to get rockets so he can shoot them toward us. Now we're shooting rockets down like those that he's shooting. Because why would we do that? Because we know that eventually that guy, they're going to make, even by accident, they're going to fire a rocket that's probably going to hit Japan.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? But we're nationwide, worldwide, the nations are divided. I mean, even the European Union is divided now. They're dropping out because they realize it's not working. So we've got nation against nation. That's a definite. So we can scratch off number 7. But also, that same verse says there will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places. So there's going to be all kinds of shifting of the signs, the moon, the phases that this earth goes through that's going to cause a lot of stuff to happen. Now, let me point out something to you. As we start going through this over the next few weeks, you keep in mind 2 things. Number 1, the focus is not going to be on us, the United States. So number 2, we need to look at other countries. Because right now, what we don't understand, I don't think we clearly grasp the hundreds of thousands of Christians that have died in the last 3 years in other countries. Dying to die. You know, I mean, they have been under persecution. They understand what famine is. I mean, there are kids still in India that's starving to death. There are kids in Africa, places that they're starving to death. There's probably kids in Haiti starving to death, I would think, especially in the isolated areas. But you understand that we can't look here. This wasn't written. The United States of America didn't exist when this word was written. So we're not even in this equation when you think of the tribulation that's being poured out. When you think of the pestilence, what the Zika virus that's crept in. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on out there. So, nations divided. That's disease. Disease? Get going? Okay. Disease and tribulation. What scares me is if we don't step in to some of these countries, I don't like to be in war. I'll be honest, I don't like to be. But if nobody else is going to protect these people, especially these that are Christians, if somebody does, if we don't do it, who is? Nobody's going to do it. And these Arab countries, you can say what you want, but some of them are determined to wipe us out. Their Bible says to wipe us out. Their Somebody else? Okay, yeah, we scratched that one off early. So that is right is wrong and wrong is right. And there are plenty of preachers that are preaching that. TV and everywhere else. Okay?
What about 11?
Huh?
What about 11?
That's what we're talking about, number 11. That was
Oh,
Jim.
okay.
Right is wrong, wrong is right, false preachers,
Okay.
you name it. There's plenty of them out there. Number 12? 12, because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. So two things. You're a good stand. Lawlessness we can bring home to just show how bad it is. Now, on the extreme side of it, thank goodness, I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know why God keeps his protective hand on us as a nation, but we don't deserve it. But what's happening now with these bombs, I mean, the one yesterday, somebody said it was, last count it was like 80 people killed, 300 or 400 injured. I mean, that's a huge bomb. That's a lot of explosive in one vehicle to take a building down. I mean, that's Oklahoma City kind of stuff. But then you turn around over there, and I mean, it's just a constant war that's going on every single day with the lawlessness. And we're seeing it. I mean, Jim and I were talking yesterday as we sit in the hospital. I'm thankful. I know your family's thankful that he's not a policeman. I'd hate to be a policeman in Greenville, North Carolina now, because they're just a target. There's just so many people. And you add to that this equation, the love equation, and guess what? Wax cold. There is no love. It's died. Look how many, look, you don't have to go to the abortion thing. Just look at family life. Look what's going on. You don't think Satan knows how to bring this, he knows how to bring this nation down. Destroy the family. He's won. This nation was built by families that loved and honored God. Now he wants us fighting one another, because when he does that, guess what? He wins the victory. And every single day, Christian or non-Christian, he's like, I got that one, got that one, got that one, got that one, got that one. Some of you know what I'm talking about. We've experienced it. We've seen it. Siblings don't talk to one another anymore. Parents and kids don't talk to one another anymore. It's everywhere. That's the devil at work. You can say what you want to, but I'm telling you, the devil's number one target in America is your home, your family life, your marriage. Can you hear me? Good. The lawlessness, the love of many is waxing cold. So we marked off 7. Anybody else? Say something about the lawlessness. Now, if you carry that analogy out, you might be talking. Yeah, there you go. What about this one? I haven't read anything in the last few months. It's amazing though. We talked about that 1040 window, and we have for 10 years been pouring resources and everything into that 1040 window, which is, it's South America, those countries you bring across to India, everything by, longitude and latitude. And the church's focus here in America has been to try to saturate that, because 90% of the unchurched people in the world were there in that window. And so we've done that. But you know what's happened? You turn around, so much growth as it has happened with Christianity in India, but now look what we see from Pastor Siani. They've shut down every Christian organization trying to rid them out of that country. So that's where we live. But I want to tell you this. My last recollection, which has been probably a good 6 months ago, Wycliffe Bible translators have almost finished translating the Bible for every dialect to be able to understand the Scripture. And I think more than us sending preachers over there to preach it is people reading it. China is a great example. They're getting access to the Word of God. They're reading it in privacy. They're reading it in the darkness with a little light. They can't do it publicly, openly, but they're doing it. And the church in China that's being persecuted, do you know it's growing at such an astronomical rate? Hundreds of thousands of believers in China. Who would ever thunk it? 1 point something billion people. And the gospel's flourishing. But I will tell you something. To me, thank you, sir, that one right there is about to be a check mark. And what Jesus said when he got to that. And then the end will come. Okay? Number 5, verse 5. Let's go back and pick it up. False Christ, deceiving many. When you think of false Christ, I want you to be honest with me. When you think of a false Christ, where's your mind go? Where's your mind go? I don't like that. Okay.
I think it's people like David,
I think it was
That's extreme stuff.
Napoleon living in style. People who put themselves as a Christ-like figure for the people of the nations to look to.
Yep.
That's why I didn't raise my hand earlier, because I don't think about the end either, because if I think about it, I start worrying about it, and I'm not supposed to worry about it, so I don't think about it. Does that make any sense?
It does.
If it happened this afternoon, it's not going to bother me.
It does. It says, yes, well, I don't have to hurry, but I do. Is it 7:40? I can't believe it. Oh, it's like, oh my gosh, how long? Okay. I want to go as quick as I can to finish this stuff. I want to address that at the end, okay, for your benefit, because I think there's a question that we need to answer. But, so, the false Christ. For me, I'm a pastor. Well, I'm going to nitpick preachers, but I want to tell you something. Here in America, there's a large segment of, they call themselves evangelical, and they preach good sermons, but I want to tell you something. They're leaving out the most important part. And that is that we are born sinners. And it's our nature to sin. And without repentance toward God and trust in Jesus Christ, we're going to hell. And they're not preaching that. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. If you don't preach that, how are people going to get saved?
Amen.
They can't get saved. They're not going to be saved. So these large churches are full of hundreds of thousands of people that are in church. They're church, but they're unsaved. Okay? That scares me more than anything that I see, because that's what me. Now, if I pick out your pet sin and I harp on it and say, you know, Jim, you need to do something about your drinking, you know, I can see you might get offended of that. But if I'm preaching the word, listen, you got to deal with God on that one. It's not my fault. So, many will come saying, I'm the Christ, and deceiving many. Anybody else want to add to that one? What do they think? I'll tell you, preachers, you can. I tell you, I could put them with a lot of universities.
That Church of Scientology, or
Huh?
that Church of Scientology, or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Christian Science.
Osteen.
Joel
Let me have you listen to him preach. Let me have you listen to him.
I did.
Joel Osteen.
I used to.
So here, huh?
I used to.
Used to. Here is the danger. There's a lot of things in this word that we can talk about. The sweetness of Jesus, the glory of Christ, the grace of God, and the mercy of God. But if you don't deal with the sin equation, you got a problem. I don't think I've ever told y'all this, but when we were in Arkansas, this is really cute. This is going on a World Wide Web. But that's okay. I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed, and I'm not afraid. But he and his family come through and stopped at our Walmart before they got to Branson. And one of the little old ladies in our church, she goes up to him. He's standing there while his wife and the kids are shopping. And he goes up and she shakes her finger right in his face and said, "Your daddy would be totally ashamed of you. You don't even preach the gospel of Jesus Christ." I can see Sally doing that. Do what? Yeah. But you know, here's the sad part of it. Millions of people read his books. Tens of thousands watch that program. And it's so fluffy and it sounds so good. I want to tell you what the Bible says. In the last days, the ears are going to be tickled. And that's a great example of it. If that man, it's so sad, when he had the platform to emphatically say that Jesus Christ died for the sins of the world and that anything outside of Jesus is wrong. When he was on Larry King Live, and he said, well, Larry King asked him, like, do you think the Muslim will go to heaven? Well, yeah. Wrong. He apologized the next Sunday. He said, my daddy never preached that, and I don't preach that. But you messed up. The millions didn't hear that on Sunday that they heard it that night. And that's the tragedy of something. Guys, we cannot bow down when it comes to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Not in the culture that we live in. We cannot. We cannot. Okay. The last one is verse 6. Wars, rumors of wars, season that you're not troubled. It's all got to come to pass. And guess what? That's not the end of it. I want to tell you, there's more conflict on every side. Number 9. Some people have told me, said, well, I don't see this happening yet. But I want to tell you, forget about the United States. Go to Syria. Go to Egypt. Go to these crazy men that are dropping gas bombs on their own people and killing them by the thousands. Manuel Ortega just passed away. And unless there was something said or done 3 years prior to him losing his mind, he's burning in hell. And that man tortured his people. So other places, that is evident. And then verse 13 pops up. I can't skip this verse. Okay. please don't misunderstand this verse. Keep it in context. You know what that means? So what's Jesus talking about? Signs before he comes, right? And then he mentions one specific thing, tribulation and the preaching of the gospel. Okay? I've heard somebody take this verse, totally take it from this context and put it in this text and say, you are faithful, you don't keep on keeping on, if you're not giving, if you're not serving, if you're not singing, you're not doing, all the way to the end, you're not going to make it. Not like that verse said. Now I tell you this, your love for Christ and his love for you ought to motivate you to be faithful to the end.
That's right.
But that is not what this verse says. This is the people that endure. And during the tribulation, we'll get to it, but during the tribulation period, to those millions and millions of people in that 7-year period, all hell breaks loose that last 2.5 years. And when God's wrath is poured out, there's going to be a third wiped away here. Sickness, sores are going to take out another disease. It's going to be hard. And I don't want to frighten you with that, but I want you to know that period of time, that 7 years, you don't see the USA because we're going to stumble and fail. But that's all about Israel. Israel. That's their coming to realize that the guy that they nailed on the cross 2,000 years ago, that Jesus, oops, he was the Messiah. And that is to bring them through. And ever how many come through that tribulation period, their robes will be washed white. We know that. And then 144,000 plus 144,000 will get to go into the next 1,000-year reign of Jesus. Okay? So, keep your eyes on Israel right now. Keep your eyes on Israel. Because they're going to fight for that land. I hate to tell Gog and Magog, but they ain't going to get it. God's hand is on that place like it's never been on anywhere. And I just got a new video because I carried the guys to see a movie last week called In Our Hands, where God gave up those Egyptian, Syrian, and Saudi Arabia, Palestine. God outnumbered, outmanned, outmaterialed, and in less than 6 days. They call it a 6-day war, but in less than 6 days, they run them all off. That's what God does with his people. Now, so keep your eyes on that. The other thing is Gog and Magog. And the ones that we know that fit there, Russia, China, and Iraq. We know those three for sure are a part of that Gog and Magog that comes out of the war to try to take the land. So the focus is going to be more there. And that's another reason I look at us as a country. We're going to kill ourselves off anyway. We're going to kill ourselves off internally. Isn't it sad that the nation that God has so blessed for so long, 200, how many years? I don't think we'll go this far. Do you think God has blessed us for 241 years that we're internally going to explode? And we're the country that has sent thousands upon thousands of missionaries around the world to preach the gospel. And now the world's sending their missionaries here to missionalize American people. And say what you want about the border thing, but they're pouring in here by the thousands and changing the shape of this country. Spiritually. Changing the shape of this country. So keep your eyes. So for your benefit, and we'll get into this a lot deeper over the next few weeks. What's my role right now? As a believer in Jesus Christ, what is my role? Three things. Number one, pray. Because that's what the Word of God commands us to do. Pray. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, come on. If my people that are called by my name, let me ask you this. Do you consider yourself a people of God? Do you consider yourself being called? Okay. My people that are called by my name shall humble themselves, pray, and seek my face, and here's the big one. Man, I don't want to change. I tell you what, it ain't going to happen until we change. Till we become a broken, humble people, totally dependent on God, crying out to God, then I'll hear. Then I'll heal the land. You know what one thing? Maybe not. Okay. So that our number one responsibility is pray. Number two, okay, verbally telling the story of Jesus, his death on the cross, his burial, his resurrection, and the fact that he's coming. There was a time that it was acceptable. And anymore, people just laugh and make fun of the guy standing on the street corner with a sign that says, Jesus is coming. Get right. I go back, I can't remember, was it Nashville? Little African-American lady in her 80s that stood on the steps. Where was that at? She stood on the steps of the courthouse. And she had a Bible. And she kept reading over and over and over again the gospel of Jesus Christ. Everybody came and went. Every day. 6 days a week. That's what that lady did. And I'm thinking, wow. What a witness she was of Jesus. And we would look at it now, to be honest, we would look at it and say, that's not me. But I'm telling you something. Because that's not us anymore, that's a part of why we are who we are.
There's a guy on Sharon Road that, you go down, if you go down Highway 98, you turn left on Sharon Road, he's out there every single one. He puts signs out that says, Jesus is near. I mean, he puts about 7 signs out, and he waits. And some mornings I'll come by there, and it'll be a bar stop, people talk to him, but he's out there every single morning except for Sunday.
Yeah, I wish we could put a billboard on the highway up here, and, and let that be a testimony. Because all the other signs that we talk about, they're not wanting anything good. There needs to be a sign that points people to the end. We got to tell them, we got to pray, and I want to tell you, the last one, and it's last for a reason, we got to live it out loud. We cannot be silent anymore. We cannot be silent. We have got to live it out loud. So the question will be, as we go through this, do we see the beginning of the end? I don't know how long it'll be. in these last days, there's another prophecy in the Bible that if we don't start telling it, the rocks will cry out. Can you imagine that God would pass over me? I mean, that's a shame and embarrassment to me. God would pass over me and let a rock take my place. God, I thank you for strength for the last hour. Thank you for the blessing of your word. Lord, I pray for me. And I pray for my church team. That as we begin to search the Scripture, as we look at the day, the times, the season, that God, that there would be some kind of red light that goes off within us. To want to do all we can to make sure that people understand that there is a reality to life and death. There is a reality to heaven and hell. And there is a big difference between saved and lost. God, please, Lord, heal our church. So much sickness. So much surgery going on right now. And so much sorrow. We need your return, Lord. For families, individual lives. Jesus, you love